Welcome to Fridays in the Field, brought to you by FNBO, the Great Big Small Bank. I'm Patton, and we come back to Lexington, Nebraska, and back to Creek Winery and Vineyard to check on the grape growing crop, and of course our great tour guided host through this growing season, Max McFarland of Creek Winery. And it's been a couple weeks now, but rain has returned back to central Nebraska in several areas. Max, what are we seeing for a grape crop right now? How are things looking?
Well, I tell you, who'd have thought we were going to get the majority of our rainfall in July of all times, but it was very welcome. The grapes love it. Of course, they love the heat as well, much more than I do. But this rain came at a very good time. If you get too much rain too close to harvest, that gives you some problems. And of course, don't want it to get too dry either. So it was very timely rains. We were very fortunate.
That is great to hear. Now, as well, coming into this year, in our first episode, you talked to us about the fact that the wines that Nebraska makes, well known now across the country, winning some awards both at the national and international levels. Even from what the varieties you're growing this year, what kind of wines can we expect to be made, and is there anything new or something you want to try in 2021?
We're going to have many of our good old reliable wines that we've done year after year. Our Edelweiss is going to be looking good. Our Buzzard's Roost Blush. We're going to have a good crop of Brianna that's going to end up as our Flatwater White. We are kind of excited about a variety of red grapes that we almost got to the point of harvesting a good crop of those, and that's when we got hit with the herbicide a few years back.
So really, Nebraska wines competing in all the different flavor categories that many wine connoisseurs are used to. When it comes to the ag tourism side of Creek's Winery and Vineyard, though, you're introducing some new things this summer as well as bringing some older elements that you've done in years past. Tell us about the summer at Creek Winery and what folks are enjoying and how that's helping the business.
Well, we don't like to get too bored around here, so we're always looking for something new to do. We have introduced our Wednesday backyard barbecue. We've expanded the farmers markets that we attend down in Lincoln to a couple of Saturdays a month this year, so that keeps us going that direction. We have our Friday night, every other Friday night, live music going on out here. So we're really trying to become a part of a destination out here in Dawson County. We'd love to have people consider us a destination to come to and stay and enjoy the day, enjoy the evening. But so many other things we have to offer in Dawson County with museums and the lake and what have you. We're just a part of that bigger puzzle that we hope to really be able to bring tourists into Dawson County.
Not selling so much as an actual ag product, but really selling the culture of agriculture and bringing people in where they can sit and experience the product right in the midst of its growing.
And that is so true. People love to be surrounded by the vineyards, and it gives us a chance to tell the story. We don't try to be like other major wine producing regions of the country. We want to show what we can do best with wines in our part of the country. These wines are so unique, the cold climate wines, and because they are unique in terms of the grapes we grow, they're also unique in the wines that we produce, and you can't find those wines anyplace else in the country, really.
And again, we're talking with Max McFarland, Creek Winery. And Max, we've really covered another broad round for Fridays in the Field. Have we looked over anything important, though, for this week's discussion, or anything that we've maybe overlooked in our conversations earlier?
Well, I look forward to our next episode, because we're going to be right in the throes of harvest at that time. We're just getting close now, which means we're about to go into veraison. What that means is these grapes, this is a white grape, even though it looks green, and it will start to turn golden and soften up, and that means that it's starting to ripen. It'll start to sugar up, and we start tracking it then very closely in terms of the chemistry of the grapes. We have to also be cognizant of the birds that love these grapes when they start to get sugar in them, and they're kind of like raccoons in this part of the country. They're into the sweet corn about 2 weeks before the sweet corn is ready. Well, they hit this the same way, and it can be devastating.
There we go. And kind of give us an insight too when we think about harvest in Nebraska. A lot of mechanical use when you think about the big combines and stuff. But for Creek Winery, is it a more by-hand process?
It's totally a by-hand process. There are wineries in the state that do have mechanical harvesters. We aren't one of them. We really like to do the hand harvesting, and it's much easier, much more effective to control how much exposure of the juice to the grapes and the skins and that sort of thing in terms of timing. The winemaker really tracks that very closely depending on the kind of wine that he wants to make. We don't want those grapes sitting in a bin macerated in their own juice for extended periods of time. We'll do the harvesting in the morning as soon as it's light enough to see. We'll have quite a crew out here to pick these. We'll have the grapes in pressed and in the tank and cooling down by mid-afternoon. So we're pretty particular about that, and it's hard work, and it's an exciting time of the year, but it's a lot of hand labor.
That is Max McFarland. We have some exciting things to look forward to in our next episode of Fridays in the Field when we come back to Lexington and Max Creek Winery and Vineyard. But this is another episode of Fridays in the Field brought to you by FNBO, the Great Big Small Bank.